You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Good morning and welcome to Get It Right Texoma. I'm, it's with the trio, yes. And I'm Terry.
And I'm Trey.
That's Trey. And our trio, the third, well, his first, third, whatever, is Mike. He's always with us.
Mike Hendren, our good friend.
Yes. And, so we are live every Friday morning at 7:30.
We are on we put a show out every Friday morning at 7:30. Most of the time it's live.
Well, okay. Yes. So anyway, so please join us, share this, let your friends and neighbors and everybody else and your dog and your cat to know about us, what's going on here every Friday morning, 7:30. And also you can basically comment with us and tell us what your thoughts are and all of that. But we also have some interesting topics, and usually we have a guest, and we do have one this morning, and we'll reveal that here shortly. And so we even record, and sometimes we'll record the show like in a couple of weeks. I'll be gone, but we're going to have one. We'll still be here at 7:30.
That's right.
And
consistency.
Yes, we wanted to make sure that's happening. And so anyway, speaking of guests, I did say that a few sentences ago that we have the CEO of the Clay County Memorial Hospital.
Yep.
And he's Jim Kulovatos. I've been having trouble with that all morning. But yeah, he'll be joining us here shortly at 8 o'clock. And so look forward to that. He's got a lot of good information about what's going on in Clay County. And
not just in Clay County, but in Medicare Advantage.
Okay.
So this is actually a very important information thing. If you have a loved one, so I'm just telling you ahead of time, of course he'll go over this. If you have a loved one who's Medicare age, or you are you're Medicare age yourself, there's a lot of going on out there with Medicare and Medicare Advantage, and there are people who lose a lot of benefits by making a switch because they get convinced.
Right, and Medicare Advantage may not be an advantage to you. Is the gist.
Generally, it's not.
So it's an advantage to the government or the company.
The insurance company.
See, I don't know.
It's a private insurance.
Oh, see, that's I wasn't here for the last time. I think I missed that particular deal. So anyway, please chime in. Like I said earlier, you can message us on Facebook and on YouTube, and I can see the messages right here on the screen. And so
on this screen,
on this screen, yes, this one right here, not that one. But anyway, yes, we can.
4 screens. We have this one, and that one.
There we go. Yep. And so we're here. But be sure to check out our archives of our content. YouTube keeps it seemingly forever, although the live streams on Facebook, for some reason, I
think YouTube's the best way to do this.
Yes.
I think if you subscribe to the YouTube, it's all on there. It's pretty easy to find, and those archives are on there. They go back from I don't know what this number is, but we're probably up to about 115,
20, something like. Yeah, I have to go back and look. Yeah,
and of course, a lot of them, the first 100 or so, were with Mike Hendren.
Right. Yep.
So there's a lot of good stuff back then. A lot of great guests. We've had city councilors, we've had mayors, we've had U.S. congressmen, we've had state congressional people.
Yep.
We've had,
nonprofits.
We've had CEOs.
Jenica.
We have so many people here.
Yeah.
So be sure to check out, and you can go back and you'll find a lot of really good information from our past guests on there.
Oh, yes. So they have all the connections. And so anyway, thanks to our sponsors, Eddie Hills Fun Cycles at 401 North Scott. Since 1966.
That's right. EddieHillsFunCycles.com.
Yep. And MacTech Solutions, your local Apple source for anything that you need done for your Apple device. We fix them, we sell them, and all that good stuff. And since 1996,
everything Apple except for the ones you eat.
That's right. Well, although we do have the fake one up there that has some bite marks we have a bicycle that's out on display. Anyway, there's a story behind that. But anyway, so we want to invite you to, come and check out our business, local business. We really encourage we're local owners. We please do local business with us, do business with local business owners
as much as you can,
if you can. Yeah, right. But we need to earn it. Hold it,
No,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think
you're
going
to find a better experience at most local businesses than you are online and stuff like that. And just think about it. Sometimes it's nice to just get out and go see somebody and talk to people and that sort of thing.
There you go. Yep. So, but anyway.
And by the way, let me, if you're going to hit people up to sponsor your little league team, your and stuff like that, and you buy everything online, that businesses can't afford to give money away to causes unless they make money.
Right.
And the last thing you want is somebody who you've never seen in your store, and they show up and they're asking for money.
Yeah. That's, it's a relationship. I mean, it absolutely is. And so we certainly encourage you, if you can, if we earn it, please do business locally, because it's not always more expensive. Some people think, oh yeah, it is. Well, sometimes it might be. But I think that's okay, because there's a certain amount of that you get a bigger smile, I think.
Well, it's the experience, and it's not all about the pennies, and sometimes it is, but it's like people who break their neck to save 3 cents on gas, but they drive 15 miles and save 3 cents a gallon on gas. And for some reason, people get so blinded by those gas prices. So say you're going to save 3 cents a gallon.
Yeah, my 15 gallons is not going to.
Exactly, yeah. And you
45 cents.
Exactly. You broke your neck. You wasted a bunch of time. What is your time? Is your time worth anything?
Yeah.
Even if
absolutely.
you make minimum wage, your time is worth something.
It's I looked, if I'm within the vicinity, I'll look around and it's like, okay, I'll go over there.
If it's somebody there, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got gas 5 cents a gallon cheaper somewhere else. Well, I'm not filling up an army.
Well, there's some gas stations that it may or may not be the same price that you don't want to go to, because like Lucy had to she didn't brandish her weapon, but she had to show a little force. Yeah. She's like, no. And he kept coming, and she kind of showed maybe a little bit of imprint of her. and they walked off. So anyway, on that, as far as advertising, we've got, if you want to sponsor our show, man, we'd love to have you. It's not going to cost you a lot.
No, it won't cost you much, and we'll talk about you.
Yeah, there we go. So, so we have a unique podcast here. I think this is unique what we're doing here, and we're informal. We just have fun with it, and we want you to know that we're here, and we focus on the local area, and we do talk a little national and state politics, but hey, we want you to know that we are here for this area, and we're unique in what we have. So I think tell your friends. So this is Get It Right Texoma. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. And as normal, we start out with our local restaurant focus.
Yeah.
And this week is Bull Malarkey's in Henrietta.
Bull what?
Bull Malarkey's. It's a really good place. It's at Henrietta, and if you're not familiar with Henrietta, it's about 25 minute drive from east of Wichita Falls. But it's a really good place to eat. They've got great food. They got a real eclectic vibe in there. There's a lot of neat stuff. If you like dead animals,
well, I like to eat dead animals.
There's plenty.
There's that too, stuffed.
The crazy thing about their building is, if you look out front, you go, oh, this isn't a very big place, but it's long.
Oh yeah,
it's
not
way
back
wide,
there,
but it goes back half a mile. So you keep walking and walking and walking. So
well, there's
look at your screen.
Oh,
you see some,
wow, that's bread pudding. Okay, yeah, with some vanilla ice cream on it, and there's some. Let's see here. There's a little blurred version of it where it's inside.
It's a great place. It's right downtown Henrietta. You can't miss it.
Yep.
Right across from the courthouse right there. Now they do be sure to check their hours, because I think they're closed on weekends.
Okay. Let's see. No, they're open Sunday they're not open, but Saturdays 5 to 8.
Okay, but they're closed Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So I knew they were closed.
Right.
Okay. So they are open on Saturdays, but they're closed Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays.
Because they got to make sure they get all that good meat and smoked and
there you
everything.
Go.
So.
But they have barbecue, but their chicken fried steak is great. Mm-hmm. Their sides are great. They have a lot of.
Well, I've had the brisket. Oh, the brisket. I always get brisket. If there's good brisket, man, I'm
just in.
Yeah, I'm there. So
cool. Check them out, Bull Malarkey's.
Yep,
Henrietta, Texas.
109 North Main. So
you can't miss it.
Yeah, all right.
Stevie Wonder drove by and saw
it. So there we go. All right. So what's the let's see, what's the next thing?
A couple local happenings here. Hands to Hands Ranch Days 2025 is going to be going on next week. And Hands to Hands is an organization. It's a charitable organization that was formed several years ago by a group of local business people to help fill the gaps.
Right.
Well, I think when United Way pulled out some of their
Yeah.
support.
Yep.
And so it's grown into a really good organization. Nancy Brown is the backbone of it. She's the CEO or the executive director, I guess you should say.
Okay.
And 100% of the money that they raise goes to the charities.
Okay.
In other words, they absorb the cost of the administration.
Right.
So it's not like even 3% goes towards administration or 0% goes towards administration. They've built their system to where they can afford.
Right. They get
to
paid
give every nickel away.
Right. They earn their money through donations or
It's underwritten by
fundraisers.
somebody else, right?
And then they operate on that. That's their operation, is to do that. And then
Right.
unlike the other organizations. It's not saying that's a bad way, but this is the way they've chosen to do it.
Right. So anyhow, it kicks off October 23rd, which is next Thursday at the warehouse at 1401 Lamar. You'd better get your tickets now if you want to. It's a Ranch Days dinner, and then they have entertainment that night.
Okay.
And then Friday and Saturday they have a sporting clay shoot.
Okay.
And it's at 3T Ranch out by the lake.
Okay.
And Ty Thacker's place out there. And it starts you'll go to the ranch.
I've got it up.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Go there for more information. But Ranch Days, it's a great organization if you're into sporting clays. But even if you're not going to go shoot, I'm not going to have time to go shoot this year.
Right.
But I am going to go to the dinner on Thursday night, and you'll see a lot of people and get to socialize and some great entertainment and great food.
Right. And that website is htHCF.org, and then I'm sure they'll have a link off the main page. This is what I'm showing
Hands
you.
to Hands CF, right.
So hthcf.org, and you'll have this up there. And,
right, exactly.
So they're a great organization, so certainly get out there and support them if you can.
Also, the Beverly Drive Methodist Church. I know this is an unusual thing for us to be talking about here, but it's the little church I grew up in. And,
okay.
And of course, like all little churches, they fight for every nickel they can get to stay open.
There you go.
And it's just a small church that's over on Beverly Drive, obviously.
Yes.
Right down the road from where Mike Hendren grew up, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he grew up right down the street.
Okay.
But they're going to have a garage sale that's going on. It'll be today and tomorrow from 8 to 1. They're going to have holiday stuff. They have a lot of new stuff in there. So go by and check them out. See if you can get yourself a bargain and help support the church a little bit.
Okay.
In their organization.
All right.
And then the last thing, and I don't have this on our list, but the last event I want to talk about is the Halloween event that's going to happen at Campfire. So they're going to have a safe Halloween. Basically, it's a drive-through, a drive-up Halloween deal. They're going to have a lot of candy there. They're going to have costumes. People are going to be dressed up and all that. But it's a safe trick-or-treating type thing for families. They do recommend, and Campfire office is on the corner of 9th and Fillmore in Wichita Falls. And so they do recommend you coming from the Fillmore Street, not the 9th Street.
Okay.
Because it does get a little congested there if you're trying to turn north at 9th Street. So you're better to come from the south, come up Fillmore from the south, and then enter right there.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, what do we got going on in the news?
Well, I would say that one of the most significant things of this generation, at least, possibly could be, is there was hostages released in Israel.
Right.
And the reason this is important, first off, I mean, from a humanitarian, this was a bullshit thing. But from a humanitarian standpoint, it's a huge deal. But what it signals is this could truly actually be the first step for real peace in the Middle East.
Well,
in generations.
Right. Well, yeah. And that's it. It's, I mean, I'll admit I'm not well absorbed into that whole thing of what's going on. But I just think the peace deal itself is clearly a big deal. And so hopefully that holds. I mean, it looks like the deal has happened, right?
Well, the hostages have been released. Right. Yeah. So that part of it's happened. And now it's going to be up for Hamas and Israel is pull back. It's going to be up to Hamas to hold up their end of the bargain. What's different and unique about this is not 2 or 3 countries that are trying to broker this. This was a huge group of countries.
Right.
And a lot of the Arab world, Qatar and UAE and Saudi Arabia and all these. And look, I understand that in the past, you may have not liked some of the things that they've done in the past, or you might not like some of the things that they're currently doing. Yeah. And I get that. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and I don't like a lot of the things they do.
All right.
Okay, I don't believe in Sharia law. I don't
Well,
believe
no.
in subjugating women and that sort of thing.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, sometimes two things can exist at the same time.
Right.
You can not like something or somebody, but yet you can work with them on this for a common cause.
Right.
And in the end, if we can actually have true peace in the Middle East, and it looks like this is one of the best chances ever because there's so many people that are invested in that, it's just better for everybody. And all the humanitarian stuff gets better. Yeah. When you have people, when the radical people, no matter what they're radical about, when they're minimized, then it tends to help the whole, because radicalism is bad and it's anti-normal.
Right. It's incremental. You doing big change all at once. We know this. This is just part of life, that sometimes it's better to make some progress towards an end goal and then just work on the next time. Do it, you just continuous improvement, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, incremental improvement. That's really, because where there are humans involved, and you've got to win hearts and minds. And it's great to see, though. So.
Well, I think it was a big first step, because had the hostages not been released, I think the shit would be on or again.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a good step. And look, this is good for the Palestinian people. And by the way, why can't people say this is a good thing? You have these people these idiots have been protesting free Palestine, free Palestine. Okay, well, this is free Palestine. The Palestinian people have been held hostage, and I'm not defending the Israelis. I'm not saying the Israelis have not gotten over their skis on this, because they probably have at times. Right. But who really held the Palestinian people hostage was Hamas. Now, unfortunately, Palestine, they allowed it. Yeah. They elected Hamas. They put Hamas in charge. Well, what do you kind of expect? But this is if you're a free Palestine person, which, look, I am too. I mean, I don't want the Palestinian people to suffer. So if you are in that camp as well, this is good for it's just good for everybody.
Right.
So anyhow.
All right. Well, there we go. So we got the next thing would be, so we have the counselors. There was a few things that happened this week.
Yeah. Wichita Falls, this actually I think happened last week, but the Wichita Falls City Councilors approved to purchase 35 new body cameras.
Right.
For the Wichita Falls PD.
And tasers.
And some tasers, and 15 tasers. Yeah. By the way, I like this idea. I think the body cams, I know there was a lot of resistance at the beginning from law enforcement. Yeah. But I think it's better for everybody, including law enforcement. There's probably a lot of law enforcement people who have had their asses saved.
Yeah, because
the fact is, there's a lot of people, when people go to jail, they're generally not happy about it. And so cops do get a lot of retaliation, and people who say, hey, that guy did this or that gal did this or whatnot. And sometimes it's warranted. Mm-hmm. And it needs to be investigated no matter what, but sometimes it's not. And those body cams kind of help.
Right. Well, yeah.
Make it both sides. It protects. I think it protects the public from an overzealous officer, which does happen. It's not very often, but it does happen. Yeah. I think it helps protect the public, but I also think it helps protect the officers from an overzealous public individual.
Right. No, absolutely. And I get it. Now, here my question is, what control do they have?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because most time, at least
they can't edit it. I know that.
No, they can't edit it, but they can decide. Usually, from what I've seen,
turning it off.
They can turn it off or on, and so, but also that puts into question. I think if done properly, I think that it does give transparency. It can be protective of both sides of the situation, whatever it is. So I'm all for it too. I think that's the best way to go. Now 35. Now the new ones. Now did they have? They've got
body cameras now.
But so not every police officer has.
I don't know all the details of that, but yeah, 35 new body cameras.
Maybe we have the police chief.
Yeah, I can talk to Chief Borrego and ask him.
Yeah,
saw him a couple of weeks ago.
All right,
really good guy. And we talked to his law enforcement career. I mean, he's been doing law enforcement for so many years in Wichita Falls, and been a big part of the community.
All right. So what's next here? Miniature landmarks. What's all this about?
Well, so there's a company that's going to go in and they're going to lease part of Kiwanis Park.
Okay.
here in Wichita Falls, and it's a nonprofit called Miniature Wonders, and they're going to build a new attraction in Wichita Falls, and they're going to lease 15 acres in the south portion of the park, and the attraction will be a walking trail experience featuring 1/25th scale replicas of Wichita Falls landmarks and Texas history, U.S. and global wonders. In other words, you can go and see the Eiffel Tower, the Tower of London, Mount Rushmore, and the world's smallest skyscraper. And so,
and it'll even be a smaller world's smallest.
Yeah, exactly. We'll highlight that one time. The world's littlest is actually not small. It's world's littlest skyscraper. But
that's right. And there's a story behind it.
There's a whole story behind it. Yeah. So anyhow, this is going to be a neat thing. I think it's going to be pretty neat in Kiwanis Park. And it's just going to be a walking trail. And this company comes in, and I'm assuming they're going to charge some admission because nobody does things for free. And they're leasing the land from the city of Wichita Falls in the Kiwanis Park.
Okay.
And
all right, that sounds kind of.
It'll be coming soon.
Coming soon.
Got one more thing to talk about before we get to our guest here. This is big news broke, and this is once again a national thing. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley and has some oversight. They have an oversight committee, and they said that there were a certain amount of, and they were all Republicans. Shocker. Who the FBI targeted their phones to obtain data. Now, these were sitting FBI or Senate people and one representative, one person in the House representative. This is huge. This could be huge.
Okay.
This points to the weaponization of a law enforcement body towards political opponents.
Yeah, the very thing that a lot of Democrats are accusing Trump of doing.
Exactly.
Is they had already been doing it. And we've seen that. We've seen much of this. The target, I mean, look at Hillary and the Russia,
yeah,
and all,
so,
all of these things. And anyway, but go ahead. Yeah, this is more.
So who the FBI targeted was Lindsey Graham, Bill Hagerty, Josh Hawley, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, Ron Johnson, Cynthia Lumens, Marsha Blackburn, and Mike Kelly. And if you notice, a lot of those people have been Trump supporters in the past, and they were Trump supporters in his first term. This shit has got to stop on both sides.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out Republicans anytime that it is evident that there's been something that's lawfare, where you're going after somebody simply because they're on the opposite party, and it's wrong. First off, you're wasting taxpayer money. So you ought to be indicted for that.
Yeah. Fraud, waste, and abuse.
Exactly.
Right in the Air Force. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Fraud, waste, and abuse. And I don't know if you knew anybody who went to jail over that, but there have been people who have gone to jail, and you probably knew somebody who lost.
Well, at least got in trouble. Yeah.
Trouble and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And this is fraud, waste, and abuse.
Right. Well, just to give you
for damn sure.
Right, I can give you an example of one that really probably didn't cost much money necessarily because the money was paid back, but we were issued, which what could go wrong if you give a bunch of people in the Air Force? They forced us to get an American Express card. They literally. Everybody got it.
And they tell you can't leave home without it?
Well, right, yes. But the idea was that you don't have to go to finance and fill out travel. I mean, and I think it was a good idea overall. But anyway, we had a major of all the people. And they gave us briefings not to abuse it. But he decided somehow that he would use it for going to Disney World. Now, he paid it all back. But anyway, it was a briefing at a commander's call. And they showed a statement on there and showed that Disney World, don't do this.
Yeah.
So he didn't lose any, he retired shortly after. So.
Trying to get a lap dance from Minnie Mouse. This goes back to what this shows is it shows it happens once again, like what you said, what people are accusing the Republicans for doing now. This is evidence that the Democrats were doing it before.
Right.
And it does have to stop. All of this goes to keep the volume turned up, because the fact of the matter is, and if you listen to the media, they will bullshit you and tell you that everybody's at odds and everybody's at odds. Look at your personal life. Look at your life. Are you at odds with anybody in your life? Really? And if you are you at odds with them because of political beliefs?
Oh, well, I can tell you in my situation, no. It's because they did bad stuff, so I have to take somebody to court.
Almost everybody I know, that's the answer. No, I don't have a beef with somebody because they're a different color. I don't have a beef with somebody because they're a different gender. And I don't have a beef with anybody because they're political ideology.
No.
So, but the media, because this is how they can create stories. They stoke these fires. You got to push back on this. You got to think in your mind, when you start getting to the point where you think, oh, everybody's at each other's throats, you go, wait a minute. Who am I fighting with?
Yeah.
And then talk to your friends. Who are they fighting with? And the answer is generally nobody.
Yeah.
So in the end, that just means it's manufactured BS.
Yeah. There you go.
But this is wrong. And I do hope that there is some accountability of this.
Yeah.
Now, this would not be targeting probably the FBI people that are doing. This is the leadership.
Right.
We need to understand when police officers, FBI, while there are people who do go rogue and they do things that are bad on their own, a lot of times this kind of stuff comes from the top. And these people that are in the FBI may not agree with it. But it's similar to like when you were in the Air Force. You may not agreed with the orders you were given.
Right.
But you followed orders.
Well, right. As long as that could be a whole nother discussion, but I never was that I could detect that I was given any illegal orders, unlawful orders. But I'm just saying, it's not my job. In fact, it's my responsibility specifically to follow the orders. It's the right thing to do, even if it may not even be, that it's not the best way, but that doesn't matter. It's more important that for the chain of command that you follow the orders, because there always can be a better way, and you could pick it apart or whatever. Just follow the orders and move on and do your best. That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
So, but anyway,
time for our guest, Jim.
Yes,
come on in.
Yeah, we do it live.
We have a live transition here.
So, well, no transitions here. Okay,
yeah.
Never mind.
You're not transitioning now.
No.
All right, joining us right now is Jim Kulovatos. He is the CEO of Clay County Memorial Hospital.
Yeah, so we are
in Henrietta, Texas.
There we go. We got all three of us on there. I spelled your name right?
Yes, you. It's K-O-U.
K-O-U.
It's close.
And I read it to you.
Oh, did I? Oh, well, I can fix that though.
But it's close.
All right. Well, that's why I checked.
Actually, phonetically, that's probably a better way to spell it.
That's how you say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it was Smith, then we'd have to get on to you, Terry. But so yeah, Jim's here to talk about a lot of things. Jim, you've been in the hospital business a long time.
Long time.
And on the administration side, you're not a doctor. You're not a physician.
Not on the medical side, just on the operations side.
On the operations side,
yes.
Which a lot of people I don't think about that when they think about the hospital. They see the doctors, the nurses, and that sort of thing, the techs, radiology techs, and all that. But they don't think there's people that work in the business office that have to collect the money, pay the bills, and make all of that happen.
Kind of make it work. Kind of pull it all together. It's a tough job. It's just as tough as practicing medicine. The operation side of it is getting more complicated every year. The government doesn't make anything easy.
Anytime you get government regulations, anything, the hospitals, banks and hospitals are probably the two most regulated, or alcohol maybe, or two most regulated industries there are. So
exactly. So yeah, so it is. And for the small hospital, for the rural hospital, just in the last few years, it has gotten very complicated. And as people know, on the rural side, we don't have a lot of numbers. As far as our volumes go, as far as our market share goes. So we have to do a heck of a lot more for a whole lot less. United Regional's probably got a market area of 200,000-300,000 people, just off the top of my head.
Sure.
Clay County has got 12,000 people. And we got and that includes out there by the lake out there, which is in Clay County. Although they got Wichita Falls address, it's actually some of that's in Clay County. So
You and I
yeah.
both. You have a Wichita Falls address, don't
I
you?
do, yes.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Terry and I both live in Clay County, but yeah.
So so we every year it just keeps getting more complicated, and the resources that we have available also get less and less every year, and it's very expensive. And Clay County Memorial Hospital is, I believe, it's the only hospital in the state of Texas, rural hospital in the state of Texas, that receives no subsidy from any source. We don't collect taxes. The county, Clay County, does not subsidize the hospital at all. They do subsidize the
EMS
ambulance service, the EMS service, which we're very grateful for.
which is housed at the hospital, but it's not. It is. There's also a separate line item. I mean, they're part of the hospital, but they are a separate entity.
Right.
They're not the hospital itself.
So it when you have that, we're not in any big oil producing.
Right.
We got some in the county, but not much. So it's tough. So we live off of the revenue that we generate, the collections that we collect from the revenue generated. So it's really tough for us because we don't have any other source to help us in our operations. We have some hospital districts in this area. I think Electra is a hospital district. They get to assess taxes to their geographical area. So
they're subsidized by the taxpayer.
They're subsidized by the taxpayer. Clay County Hospital is not. So we have to be very careful, as you know, because you are on our board, that we have to be very careful on how we operate. We have to be, we have to, even services that we want to bring in, we really have to go through those services to make sure that they are going to be profitable.
Right. Well, you got to do market. You got to do market research.
Exactly. So it's when it does sound like a good deal, it may not be a good deal once you look into what's Medicare pay us, what's these other insurance pays us, and kind of what we'll talk about here in a minute.
We'll talk about
Medicare Advantage.
And so real quickly, before we get into that, the kind of the main topic here, briefly kind of let everybody know what all services can be offered at Clay County, because there are a lot of things that you can get done at Clay County, and you can get them done faster than other places. You can there's usually not a long waiting line, and we've got some great medical staff out there as well. So
what are your specialties, if you will?
Okay, we do. We have, of course, our inpatient services and our
breast augmentations. No.
Our outpatient services are lab imaging, which is X-ray, CT, and MRI.
And by the way, MRI, you can get into an MRI pretty fast out there compared to in town.
Right.
I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying when you have X amount of MRI machines in Wichita Falls and X amount of people that need MRIs.
Right.
Well, and actually CT scan is probably the other area in Wichita Falls. Just in talking with the medical folks here in Wichita Falls, and of course I started my medical career here in Wichita Falls. I grew up in Burke Burnett, Texas. I graduated from Midwestern, but it can take 2 weeks if your physician here in Wichita Falls orders a CT scan. It could take 2 weeks for you to get in to get a CT scan.
Right.
Call us there at the Clay County Hospital there in Henrietta. You can probably get in that same day. Definitely the next day. So, but we have those services. We have, of course, our lab. We got a full service lab. We have physical therapy. We have respiratory therapy. We do IV injections. So anybody that needs is doing IV and they can't get in real quick, come on out. Just bring your doctor's order and we can see you there. Of course, we have home health. Home health is actually growing, so we're happy to see that. Of course we do general surgery. We have a general surgeon. who's very busy. But if you need, and I've also, put out to the general surgeons in Wichita Falls, if you can't get a time in your OR at your hospital, whether it's United Regional or Cal West or the surgery center here, call us. We can get you in.
Are we on still?
No, yeah, I think we're still going.
We can get you in, and so, but we do pain management.
My mother actually had surgery out there years ago, before I was ever on the board. My mother actually had surgery
out there.
Yeah, and I've actually had an injection in my ankle out there as well too. So I've used the hospital as well there.
So we have 3 providers. We've got Dr. Guerrero, Dr. Zaraga, and Carrie Howard is our nurse practitioner, certified nurse practitioner. Very good. I think if you ever use Carrie, she is very, very bubbly. She smiles. She is great, and as is Dr. Guerrero and Dr. Zaraga. And let me see. I think that
that's kind of the scope.
And
there's ER. The ER.
Well, of course, we have the ER.
ER and EMS. So if you're in Clay County, it's not. You don't have to be a Clay County resident.
No.
There are times that people are traveling through. There's people that are maybe from Walla Walla, Washington, but they're traveling through and have an accident or something like that. And if you're missing an arm, they're not going to send you to Clay County. You're going to send you somewhere else.
You're going somewhere else.
Yeah,
exactly right.
But if you just had an accident, you maybe got a little bit of dizziness or whatever it is, and then the EMS rolls up and says, "Hey, we need to get this person in and get a doctor to look at this person and assess them." They can take you to Clay County right there.
Yeah. So your ambulance though comes to, like, I think we're in our part 2393, and then because my father-in-law or my mother-in-law one time when they were staying with us ended up coming out, and they took them into Wichita Falls because of heart or something.
Yeah. The regulation for EMS is you take them to the nearest hospital.
Right.
Unless that hospital cannot treat that condition.
Right.
It needs a little higher acuity, then they'll send them
Yeah.
to a hospital that can. And lots of times that may be United Regional.
Yeah, in our case, it is actually. It's close because we're on the.
It's
on
actually
the east.
closer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the west side.
On the west side. The west side of the dam is closer. The east side of the dam is closer to Clay County.
So you're going to default probably going to Wichita Falls no matter what,
Anyway,
because it's the closest.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to just go just because it's the closest, fastest way to get you taken care of, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Somebody who can help you. So anyhow, so Clay County Memorial Hospital, check it out. I mean, there's a lot of good things going on there. People don't think about it because if you're in Wichita Falls, but you don't have to be a Clay County resident.
Right.
You can be a Wichita Falls resident. Just be sure that you bring your doctor's order or get the doctor to call. They can't go out there and just treat you. Just make decisions.
Are y'all on my chart or not on my chart?
No.
Okay.
My chart is an Epic.
Right.
EMR. We are on
a different one.
A different EMR.
Okay.
But we do have
we're on your chart, not my chart.
Yeah. But no. But we are looking very heavily at going to the Epic system.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
well, that's cool.
It would be epic if it happens.
Yeah, because then although it's interesting how it all works, but anyway, we don't.
Well, and now we're getting ramped up on Medicare and Medicare
Yes.
Advantage. And this is the whole crux of this is the big thing.
The reason you're here, yeah.
So no matter what Joe Namath or Jimmy J. Walker says, or any B-list celebrity from the 70s says, because that's what they tend to do. They drag up a bunch of these people. Here he is like, oh, wow, I haven't seen them in a long time. The lady from Gilligan's Island or whatever. So no matter what they say, Medicare Advantage may not be good for you. It may or may not be right for you. And so Jim's got some good information here, and he's coming from a standpoint that, the fact of the matter is most of the people that are going to watch this podcast are not necessarily Wichita or going to or Clay County residents or going to Clay County Hospital. So this isn't anything to make you money or anything like this or to make the hospital money. This is an information thing for people.
Exactly. This is Medicare Advantage, and a lot of people don't understand, and the reason a lot of people I don't think understand the concept of Medicare Advantage versus traditional Medicare.
First off, it says advantage in it.
Right. Well,
so
it's the Medicare Advantage, and I'm not here to say Medicare Advantage is terrible. It's not any good. There are some good things about it, but I think the the really major thing that everybody that's Medicare on Medicare or Medicare age, Medicare eligible, needs to really look. The Medicare Advantage plans of old are gone. The new Medicare Advantage plans that are available have changed dramatically. And I was going through some plans. Now, I'm on Medicare myself. So I go through a lot of these plans. And what I've noticed this year is the changes are not really so subtle, but they're subtle as far as when you go to the plan and look at it. Some of these plans do not include Part B anymore.
Explain what Part B means.
Part B is basically your physician. When you go to the physician, there's Part A and Part B, your major
So
parts
Part
of
A
Medicare.
hospital.
Part A is hospital, home health, rehab, or for our case, swing bed. Part B is your physicians,
Right. Doctors'
basically,
offices and
doctors,
okay.
and so it's very important because you're probably going to use your physician a lot more than you're going to use your hospital.
Sure hope so.
Right.
Exactly. and so it's important, but I just noticed it going through some of them that they're little bitty wording that says Part B not included in this plan. So be careful. And the other thing I want to say too, a lot of these insurance salesmen that are selling this product, they don't know the product. They really don't know really what they're selling. They're just basically out there, and I don't blame them. They're trying to make a commission.
Well, they've gotten the talking points from the company.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. That's what they've gotten. They've gotten, here's your sales guide. These are the points that you need to hit.
And so what they don't tell you is on these plans, first of all, most, if not all, these plans have doctors that are in the network. Your doctor may or may not be in that network. What we're seeing now, and I've been seeing this over the last several years, is if your doctor's not in these plans, the chances of them getting in that plan now are very low because they don't want to increase their physician network, these plans. Mm-hmm. So you need the first thing you need to do if you're interested in a Medicare Advantage plan is to make sure your doctor's in that network. But not only your doctor, make sure your hospital's in that network. Make sure some of these specialists that you use are in that network. We're seeing a lot of physicians now not accepting Medicare Advantage plans. And we'll get into that here in just a minute. Probably the biggest reason why I would encourage people to not get on Medicare Advantage. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you have a lot of deductibles, and if you're in the hospital and you've got Medicare Advantage and you need to go to some kind of a rehab for days or a week or whatever to get stronger so you can go home. What people don't know on Medicare Advantage, you're going to have anywhere from a $300 to $700 deductible per day for that stay for the first 5, 6, 7, 8 days. That's your cost. Versus traditional Medicare on that type of service, you have no cost.
Right.
For at least the first 21 days.
No out of pocket.
There's no out of pocket for the first 21 days. And then if you need more than that, then there is some. But if you've got a supplemental insurance, of course it'll pay for that. So, but I think the biggest issue with Medicare Advantage plans are the denials. So, and we can take just a little scenario. The doctor says you need a CT scan. Well, your Medicare Advantage plan is going to make you get it pre-authorized.
Okay.
So that's going to take at least 3 days to probably get authorized. And there's a very good chance that they're going to deny it, even though your physician says, "Hey, you need this or MRI." And then if you're like Wichita Falls, I don't know if they have one, but a PET scan or some of these really high dollar items.
And that's not where you take your dog to get scanned.
Exactly. But
usually, if you're getting a PET scan, it ain't good.
Exactly. So, but you have to get these. You have to get these authorized before you can get them. And there is also a good chance they're going to deny that service. If you need rehab, whether an inpatient rehab, we call that swing bed at Clay County. Most rural hospitals, if they're critical access, they call it swing bed. But it's rehab. It's physical therapy.
It's not a hammock.
Right. So, but there is a greater chance on a Medicare Advantage plan they're going to deny that. And again, I can give you an example. My mother-in-law, for instance, and this happened a little over a year ago, but she was in the hospital, got real sick. She was in hospital in Amarillo. She was there 4, 5, 6 days. Anyway, she was still weak, and so we were planning to bring her to Clay County for the swing bed program. And she's a retired teacher. She's got Medicare Advantage, and they denied it. And they denied it because they said she could walk 200 feet, or that's what the physical therapist said. Well, what they didn't seem like, if she couldn't do that by herself, in other words, she just couldn't go 200 feet,
right,
or 100 feet there and 100 feet back. She had the therapist or maybe the PTA
with assistance.
With this, I mean, they didn't touch her, but if she got, and every now and then she told on to the wall because she was next to the wall. But if she needed to sit down, they had a wheelchair right there for her to sit down. But they denied it, and so we brought her back to Henrietta. And we did get her some physical therapy. She was able to get some physical therapy. But these are things that, if you've got a mother, father, grandmother, aunt, uncle, whatever, that's really up there in age, and maybe they live alone or whatever. When they're in the hospital for 3-4 days, they're not 25 years old. They just can't get out of the hospital.
Right.
Exactly.
A little bit longer.
So they need to get strength and all that. And a lot of these plans, and most of those plans, will typically deny it. And if they approve it, and here's the kicker, if they do approve it, they'll approve it for 3 days.
Right.
So you still have, and again, remember, it's going to take a couple of 3 days for them, at least at the minimum, for them to approve these things.
Right.
So if they do, and so every 3 days, you've got to call and get it pre-authorized and pre-authorized.
Well, on something like this, though, so sometimes you're stuck for a year, right? When you pick a plan, right, you're stuck for the year. Is that for the most part, or?
Yeah, you are. However, if you want to get off Medicare Advantage and back to traditional Medicare, you can. It's a little difficult.
Okay.
But it can be done.
Well, I guess what I was going is it's more difficult to do, but if you already have a loved one or yourself, you're in that plan and you're running into things like this, you may have to be a little more proactive in getting the definitions find out what they use, what their criteria is, because sometimes your healthcare provider writes it in a more broad sense and doesn't get into the minutia and the details. And so what would have normally gone day-to-day regular Medicare might have been approved. This Medicare Advantage is going to scrutinize it a lot more. And so had they written it more accurately, that may not have even happened.
Well, but
that takes extra time on your part.
But I don't think in most cases that probably would not be an issue, because most doctors, or when they do an order, it's CT of head, and then they give the diagnosis,
right?
Which is all anybody needs,
right?
What these Medicare Advantage plans do, they take that order and they look at they look at the
CPT code?
well, no, they look at the diagnosis,
Right.
The diagnosis.
which could be the CPT code too,
Okay.
but they look at the diagnosis, and again, they'll have what they call a medical person. Now, that medical person might be a mid-level, which is a PA or a nurse practitioner. And they'll say, well, and sometimes they'll say, well, there's just not enough information, so we're going to deny it.
Yeah.
And so you do have, there's a lot of peer-to-peer, which is physician for the medical director for the Advantage plan and the patient's physician, and they'll talk. And even at that point, they'll still say, nah, we just don't think this is necessary. Now, and I'm going to say this, and I'll probably get ridiculed, and probably the Medicare Advantage people will come after me, but
big Medicare Advantage, yeah.
They do this for a reason, and the reason, unfortunately, is profit. I mean,
Well, yeah.
The less that they got to pay out,
Yeah.
the more profit. Now, I'm a big capitalist person. I don't want to make
Sure.
it wrong, but I don't think anybody should try to make profit on the health of an individual.
Right.
So, it's like us, and Trey each month Trey sees the reports. But if somebody comes to our hospital and they truly are sick or hurt and they need help, well, they're going to get it whether they can pay for it or not.
Right.
They're still going to get it.
Right.
And again, we're not going to get a dime from them, and that's okay. And we don't. This is great. I think it's the kind of thing about healthcare, but especially here at the hospital in Clay County, is they're going to when they come in, they're going to get helped.
Right.
No one's going to ask them a dime, and then it comes my problem to try to collect that money.
Right.
Right. Well, this is one of the things, and I've bitched about this for years, is when you hear people say, and this was a lot, X amount of Americans have no health care. No health care.
Well,
No health care.
health insurance is not health care.
Completely wrong. There's a X amount of Americans do not have health insurance. Everybody, whether you're here illegally, legally, you've been here for 27 seconds or you've been here for 27 years. Right. If you are in a crisis situation, a medical professional will get you out of that crisis situation. Right. Period. End of story. Right. It's the law.
Right.
And not only that, and I take it a little further, is when that doctor sees that type of a person, he doesn't know that if that person can pay or not pay, and he doesn't care. He or she doesn't.
Yeah, the doctor doesn't carry a credit card machine and have you swipe your card. Exactly. So, tap here before I look at you.
It's you always hear that the healthcare system is broken, and I argue that our healthcare system is not broken. We still have the best healthcare system in the world.
No doubt.
What is broken is how we pay for it, how it's reimbursed.
Right.
And for a hospital like us, for like being a small rural hospital, when the government wants to save money, all they do is say, okay, we're going to cut what we pay doctors and hospitals and all that. And everybody's happy. Yeah, we cut our budget, we save some money. But when you get on the other side of that, like us, that puts a bigger strain on us because now we've got less revenue, we got less cash coming in.
Yep.
Now, hospitals, the bigger systems like United Regional, probably not it doesn't have a big effect or as big effect as it does on the rural hospitals. Because they have all kinds of funding,
right?
Where we don't. So the healthcare system, we still got the best healthcare system in the world, and
you don't want nationalized healthcare.
No, and I can tell you that from physicians that I've talked to from Canada.
I can tell you that from my wife, who will tell you the national healthcare system killed her mother.
Yeah.
I mean, now that's being a little bit. There's a lot more to the story there. Her mother killed her mother, with her actions and all that. But it was exacerbated in some of the stories you hear about national health care. And my wife lived it. I mean, the first 30 years of her life, she was under
in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the UC. So,
yeah. So, but anyway, Medicare Advantage, and again, a lot of people that are on Medicare Advantage don't really know that they're not on Medicare. They still think they're on Medicare.
Because it says Medicare.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can't be on both, right?
No, you cannot be on both.
You're mutually exclusive.
One or the other. So, and I don't know how many people that in this throughout the last 20 years that will come in and say, well, I'm on Medicare. And no, no, ma'am, or no, sir, you're not. You're on a Medicare Advantage plan, and that's just a commercial insurance plan. That's just and you're not on Medicare. And I've had one that I had to call Medicare with them in my office to prove that they were not on the Medicare system. And he was absolutely flabbergasted. But at that time we actually changed him back over that day. So
let me real quickly here on this. Generally, kind of to kind of sum it up a little bit here, it seems like Medicare Advantage, there are some advantages. Like one, you are going to have lower rates. Is that correct? Generally, your rates,
I will say this, and this is the other thing about these new plans. United Healthcare, I think it was Aetna, or maybe Humana, some of these other ones I looked at. They only had probably one plan that did not have a premium with it. All the other plans that I saw had at least some kind of a premium. Versus past years, they had several plans that had a zero premium.
So real quick, there's regular Medicare, as you said, and then there's this Advantage, and it's referred to here. I just did a quick Google search, but Part C is what, I don't know if that's right,
well, Part C, I believe.
Like prescriptions or something.
Part D is prescription. Part C is, gosh, my mind just went. But the major parts is Part A and Part B,
right?
And now Part D, because Part D is the pharmaceutical,
right?
Plan. And so, and again, boy, Part C just. Well,
I guess what I was trying to figure out is what is the difference? Well, the one is Medicare is the true government funded directly, whatever. Then there's this, they came out with Medicare Advantage to give I guess it was an experiment at some point, but now it's just an alternative that's handed over to private insurance to handle what Medicare would do otherwise. The profit incentive.
When they created Medicare Part D, it was Medicare Advantage, when the government came out with that was strictly a mechanism that they felt they could save money in Medicare. Because how the government pays, or in the beginning how they paid Medicare Advantage plans, they paid Medicare 95% of what they would pay on Medicare,
the Advantage,
traditional Medicare,
right?
So at that point they thought, okay, we're going to be saving
5% off the top
now, but they did tell these Advantage programs that if you want to add any other benefits that Medicare does not pay for, you can do that.
Right.
And if you want to charge a premium, you can do that. All well and good. Now the problem is they're paying probably 20% more to the Medicare Advantage plans than they would spend on Medicare, traditional Medicare.
Talking about the patient.
Yeah, right.
Well,
what Medicare, what CMS or the government pays these Medicare Advantage. Now they're paying Medicare Advantage plans 20% more than they would
How did that
on Medicare. It's Medicare.
So it costs more.
It costs more now,
and there's more money going into a private company in that case to manage it
because of lobbyists.
Wow,
probably a lot of lobby dollars.
Well, it doesn't surprise me in a way, obviously, that this could happen, but I didn't. That's just
they're paying more in Medicare Advantage than their traditional Medicare.
What it all boils down to is you need to know the facts.
That's it.
And so there are some resources out there. What are the resources out there to people that can really know the facts? Not because that's what you want. You don't want, and I'm not knocking people who sell insurance. I've sold insurance before, but you don't want all your facts to come from the insurance salesperson, and you don't want all your facts to come from somebody who hates Medicare Advantage or is anti-insurance. You want somebody in the middle.
You do. Now there are some resources, and I don't have all of them. I know I learned last night that Nortex Regional Planning Commission has a couple of people there that will help you select what's best for you, whether that's traditional Medicare or Medicare Advantage. The one thing that we're reading when you do research that if you have a lot of money, Medicare Advantage is probably not a bad deal. If you don't have that kind of money,
and if you tend to be very healthy,
yes, exactly, then you might want to really look or stand with traditional Medicare. Now remember, traditional Medicare, you don't really have any of the prior authorization requirements. You can whatever doctor you want.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. You can use. Part B isn't Part A is free. Part B is
You'll pay for one
200 and I forget what 26 is, 204 or $5, maybe it's a little more than that. A month is what you pay. But if you have a supplemental insurance, they're basically going to pay whatever Medicare doesn't pay. You may have a small annual deductible, like mine is $200, $200-something a year. Although the deductible for Part B is going to $300.
And supplemental insurance is not Medicare Advantage.
No.
So Medicare supplement is a different.
It's a Medicare supplement.
So you can be on Medicare and get a Medicare supplement.
Yes.
Which is
kicks in after, right?
After, yeah. And that's basically more for your Part B and some of your other stuff that Part B only pays 80% of what they allow. They don't necessarily pay 80% of they pay 80% of whatever Medicare allows for that deal. And then your supplemental insurance will pay that 20%. So, but then again, if you look at what the cost of having just traditional Medicare, which is Part A, and then Part B is $200-something a month, and then your supplemental insurance plan, depending on where you live, is probably going to cost you anywhere from a little over $100 to maybe $200, depending on what you plan. But when you look at all that annual cost, it is still a lot less expensive to be on traditional Medicare than it is to be with Medicare Advantage, especially if you need rehab or
if you use the service.
If you use the service.
If you don't use the service, obviously, if you're paying less premium up front, if you go the whole year and you don't have to go see the doctor, you don't do anything like that, you're going to be ahead on Medicare Advantage. But chances are, if you're over 65, I mean, there are people out there that are over 65 that never go see the doctor, but there are few and far between.
Well, and it's like me, and I'll use me as a good example. I've got knees that kind of hurt and shoulders that kind of hurt. I mean, I played sports all my life and did a lot of things I probably shouldn't have done, but never bothered me. But now those little knees are starting to hurt a little bit more. My shoulders starting a little bit more.
Father time is undefeated. Exactly. You cannot outrun.
So at some point you may need some type of orthopedic surgery or neurosurgery or something.
Or even pain management or rehab.
And you're going to go to physical therapy. I mean, if you have to have rotator cuff, you're going to physical therapy. And what you don't really want, it for me, when I look at it, and the reason I chose traditional Medicare is because I don't want to have to worry of someone looking at it and saying, "Oh, okay, you
questioning everything."
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to go and do it. So the traditional Medicare route for me is the only way to do it. But some other resources, if call us at the hospital.
I was going to ask you. So you're willing. You can talk. Yes, you'll talk to people.
We can call. Last year we talked to several. Came out, and we're not going to just say, hey, forget about Medicare Advantage. You need traditional Medicare. We're going to look at the plan that was best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a Medicare Advantage plan, then that's fine. A little example, I talked to one lady last year and she was just adamant about Medicare Advantage. Now, what her salesperson told her was not correct, and that's okay. So we just went out and found what we felt was the best plan for her for Medicare Advantage.
Right.
So we'll definitely be glad, because again, the salesman that's selling those products, they don't know, as Trey said a while ago, they've got the talking points. This is
Right.
what you stress right here. Don't stress the fact that they may have to go ahead and pay that $7,000-8,000 out of pocket throughout the year.
Mm.
They're if they sell it, they're going to make a commission, and again, that's the way insurance works, and I got no problem with that. But I've been doing this for a long time, and probably the most frustrating thing is people buying the wrong Medicare Advantage plan.
Yeah.
They think they think they're Medicare, and some of these salesmen will say, "Well, it's Medicare," but it's not. And in most hospitals help you. United Regional will help. There are some other resources.
I wonder.
Be careful though. Some of these resources are the Medicare Advantage folks, and they're going to. They may help, but a lot of these are just, they're not going to wrestle, because what we're going to do is we're going to compare both Medicare Advantage and Medicare,
Right.
And we'll tell you what we really think is really best for your situation. United Regional is a good resource. I think you're going to have Corey on here later,
about 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Yeah,
and even what we're calling our little project this year is Medicare Disadvantage, because there are a lot of disadvantages.
Shots fired.
Oh, sure. Yes.
And
who's paying you?
That's exactly.
Yeah.
So
Nobody.
And Corey will be here, and the thing about United Regional, they don't take every Medicare Advantage plan.
Right.
I think they accept three or four.
The biggest thing is, like you said, no matter what it is, if you're going to get off Medicare, you need to make sure that the hospital you're going to use or you plan to use, the doctor you plan to use.
A lot more upfront work.
Yeah.
The specialist and that's the most important thing is if you're seeing a cardiologist that you really, really like, and they're not on that plan,
Yep.
It's a big thing. Now, some people can say, well, okay, I can go see this family practitioner over here. I've heard about him. I got friends use him, or him or her. But when it comes to your specialist, whether that's a cardiologist or a neurologist or a rheumatologist, whatever specialist that is, that kind of you don't necessarily want to go to someone that
That doesn't know
new.
you.
Exactly.
Right.
And so it's very important. It's just not it's selecting whether it's your Medicare Advantage or your traditional Medicare should only be based on you, your preferences.
Right.
You don't want to change doctors. You don't want to change hospitals.
Right.
You don't want to change pharmacies. So it needs to be personalized, not generalized.
Right.
Personalized with your financial situation. I mean, if $10,000 doesn't mean anything to you, Medicare Advantage probably not something that may be good for you.
Right.
If you don't have that kind of money, and knowing that you may run into some of those services that you have to pay deductible,
Right.
Then it's then you look at it from the standpoint of
So
can't do it.
So we can kind of summarize this a little bit.
We need to
Wrap it up. But so basically, the Medicare that we think of traditionally is a government-funded, fully 100% government-funded.
Yes.
And it started out as a way to save money, but it's morphed into this something that actually costs more. But so you've always had supplements, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had supplements for years, and that's done by private companies.
Private company.
But then this is all done by basically the Medicare has handed over the CMS. They handed over this program to private companies to manage, and that is now a private thing. So they have to call it, I assume illegally they should call it Medicare Advantage, not the same as Medicare, but it's also not a supplemental.
It'd be nice if they,
Right.
they weren't able to call it Medicare.
Right. Yes, that confuses things.
Medicare
But I bet
confuses.
they lobbied for that. I bet because everything.
Old folks insurance.
And it looks like it is Part C, is the according to the CMS's website. It is Part C is the Medicare Advantage program.
Okay, that's
And so that
If you're on Part C, you ain't gonna be on Part B.
right. Well, it takes care of the Part A
well,
and
there
B.
are some
That's what
Medicare
they're saying.
Advantages do have. It includes Part B, but
Right.
you got to be careful this year
Because
like
some
I said, because
missing.
some are not. They'll come out and say Medicare Part B is not included, and also be careful
Fine print.
that they have plans available if your loved one is in a long-term care, nursing home or whatever.
Right.
They also have but be careful because those will say Part B not.
There's a lot of
included.
pitfalls. Be careful.
Exactly.
Well, anyhow, we appreciate everybody. Thank you very much for being here, and we appreciate it once again. If you
Appreciate you asking.
somebody wants to get a hold of you, you call the Clay County
Call the
Memorial
hospital. Yep.
and ask for Jim.
Or if you're around there, come on in, ask for me. I'll buy you a cup of coffee or a soda pop, and
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. So,
Well, anyhow, we want to say thank you, everybody. We appreciate you joining us here. Once again, every Friday morning at 7:30, you'll get a show dropped, whether it's live or Memorex. It usually is live.
yeah.
That's an old throwback there. Everybody who's on Medicare Advantage can remember that one.
Yes.
So anyhow, but we have great insights, great guests. We have more great guests coming up in the future here. We're going to have the coaches.
The coaches are coming.
Wichita Falls. It's hard to say Wichita Falls High School. The high schools in Wichita Falls, because neither one of them are Wichita Falls High School, are going to be here ahead of Rivalry Week.
Right.
And like you mentioned, Corey Evans, the CEO of United Regional Healthcare, the new CEO, is going to be in with us. Of course, we usually have the mayor drop in, and Steve Garner will join us. So we'll have a lot of people coming up here.
Yep. All right. So we'll wrap it up, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Absolutely.
And 7:30, same time, same place, same bat channel, same bat time, whatever.
If you're a Medicare Advantage, you remember that too.
There you go. Like our friend and radio partner Mike Hendren always like to say at the end of the program is we'll see you down the road.